Okay, so next year it looks like a new chapter is going to start for Activision Blizzard, and what I mean by that is that the CEO Bobby Kotick, who's basically been the CEO for the past 32 years, is finally leaving Activision Blizzard, mainly due to all the controversy and scandals and all that stuff that has basically been surrounding him for the past like 2 years or so. And like between that and this acquisition from Microsoft, I do feel like he definitely has to leave because like the Activision acquisition from Microsoft is something that basically lent Microsoft in a lot of hot water because the FTC came after them for possibly violating, antitrust laws and all that stuff. But even though Microsoft had won, like the court case, and the deal is going through, and basically it just got finalized a couple of days ago. Um, I do feel that Activision has been in the news for like most of the wrong reasons for the past couple of years. If it's not nothing video game related, it's something that has something to do with like a toxic, workplace or sexual harassment and all this other stuff. And I believe that this whole thing about workplace allegations and all that stuff, it all got started back in like the summer of 2021, and it got to a point where California sued Activision, and I believe that was like in July of 2021. But yeah, I believe Bobby Kotick is supposed to be exiting Activision Blizzard with at least $400 million, and that's supposed to be like his exit payout. And and I believe he was asked to stay on as the CEO of ABK, which I believe is Activision Blizzard King, until like the end of 2023, because it's supposed to be something that's going to help with a smooth transition from, I guess, like the old structure to like the new guard in relation to how business is conducted at Activision Blizzard. But yeah, Bobby Kotick is definitely going to be on his way out. He's going to be gone, I believe, in January of 2024. And I do feel like this is something that needed to happen, and hopefully, like under this new regime, Activision Blizzard doesn't have to worry about being in the headlines for all the wrong reasons and all that stuff. But more people are talking about how Microsoft's deal is going to affect the landscape of gaming, because you look at like all the popular like franchises that Microsoft has access to now. And that includes Call of Duty, StarCraft, World of Warcraft, and Diablo. And I believe there has been talk of possibly reviving the Guitar Heroes series in the future, which is something a lot of people would love because we haven't gotten a Guitar Hero game since the mid-teens. And Call of Duty nowadays is it still gets mainstream attention. It's just as popular as it's ever been, even though a lot of people will go on record and tell you that the peak of popularity for Call of Duty was like the late 2000s, early teens. um Having Call of Duty as an Xbox exclusive is something that can definitely have a significant effect on the landscape of gaming, and that's going to be very unfair to those who are PS5 users, myself included. And and I believe Microsoft had they had signed like a 10-year deal with Nintendo to bring more Call of Duty games to I guess the Switch console and maybe their next gen console within the next, couple of years or so, because they're trying to prove to, I guess, the FTC and everyone else that, we're not trying to monopolize anything, but we will let, like, some of our more popular franchises like Call of Duty be available, for a short period of time on like the Switch or what have you before it becomes exclusive. And and I don't know, because like 10 years from now we have no idea what the landscape of gaming is going to look like. I mean, we might be in a third world war by then, and gaming probably won't even matter by then. But as far as this whole thing is concerned with Activision Blizzard, I do feel that on one hand it's exciting news. Two, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are concerned about the future, and how this is going to change things. Will we see an uptick in more people purchasing Xbox consoles? Um, will Sony try to buy out another developer to counteract what Microsoft has done with Activision Blizzard? Because we all know that Sony bought out Bungie, I believe, last year, and I don't think like the FTC came after them, at least not to my knowledge or anything like that, because the acquisition was not as big as what Microsoft had done with Activision, and I do feel that with Bobby Kotick gone from Activision Blizzard, um, hopefully we'll see a significant improval in terms of workplace environment, in terms of I guess morale, and hopefully like the kind of stories that we heard from Activision Blizzard. Hopefully, we hear less of them in the future, or just don't hear about them at all. That's something that's not necessarily promised, but yeah, I mean, it's literally an end of an era, because this guy has been with the company since the '90s, and I guess it's like a changing of the guard, and many people wonder what 2024 is going to look like for Activision Blizzard, and people really are like interested in seeing how this is going to affect the console wars going forward.